Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle. Today's episode is kind of a self-indulgence, and that's a bit of a clue if you're watching on YouTube, and today's date is a clue if you're listening on audio, and you read the date as an American. Stay tuned to find out what that means.
Hello and welcome to
Infinite Prattle!
Unscripted, unedited prattle on everything. Hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share and subscribe and enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle. Thanks very much for joining us today. If you got the clues right from my hat, well done. If you got it from the date, well done. Today is the 26th of April, and it is Alien Day, as known in the community. Straighten this camera up, it's a bit wonky. So, if you read it as an American, it's 426, which is the name of the planet from Alien and Aliens, or Acheron, as we fans call it. So, today I thought I'd just do a rundown of my favourite Alien films, and maybe do a little bit of a quick ranking. I've got a plan for a separate kind of series / vlog about this, so it would just be a quick one today. Some quick views, and they probably won't be a final decision, he says, hedging his bets knowing that it'll change his mind. So I have all the films here in beautiful 4K / Blu-ray, depending on what they've been released on. So I am including Alien Covenant and Prometheus in the Alien saga because they are Alien films, even if they're a little bit different. But yeah, we'll start off with the greatest, which is, in my opinion, Alien. Oh, by the way, you might have got it from the background as well, because my little screen behind me is cycling through Alien stuff. So if you noticed that, then good on you too. Oh yeah, my hat, by the way, is a Nostromo crew hat. So yeah, Alien. It's kind of gonna be it's the original. It's, in my view, the best horror version of Alien. It tells its story so well, and if you've not seen Alien, then I think you just need to, from a cinematographic point of view. Is that the word I'm looking for? I went very high pitched then as well. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but from a cinematography standpoint, that's the word I was looking for. It's just amazing. I may put some spoilers in here, so I'll put a bit of a spoiler alert up actually, because I can't help myself if I say stuff. But essentially, Alien is the setting of the whole franchise. You're always going to hark back to Alien to see how it compares to the other films when they release. Is it keeping the timeline correct? And essentially, it's the first one. It's the first one. It was taken from a story originally written called Star Beast, and Ridley Scott kind of took that concept and took it forward. And H.R. Geiger famously did the creature design. And yeah, it's terrifying to this day. It's creepy. It's moody. There's tension between the crew. It's a world you can really get into. You can really get into it. And it's believable, even though it's in such a distant, far-off place that you might find hard to imagine. And two films have kind of spawned off this as a direct kind of sequel. So Romulus and Alien kind of intersect straight after Alien. Romulus before that, Aliens to follow. I haven't got the exact dates in my head. I'm terrible with dates even in reality, let alone try and remember dates of fake films. So all films are fake, I suppose, unless it's a documentary. Ignore my words. So Aliens was its sequel. Very clever title change. Went from Alien, there was one alien in it, to Aliens, where there's multiple aliens. Set on the same planet. And it carries straight on. I say straight on after, if you've seen the film, you know there's a 50-odd year gap. I think it's at 57 years. That Ripley's been in cryosleep. And the main character, Ripley, does return in this film. and as she is the only surviving member of the first film. Sorry, that is a spoiler. And this one is a completely different film. Again, I love these films for separate reasons. Alien pips it for me just because it's the birth of it and its whole tone. But Aliens is a fantastic film, and I think they kind of like share the pedestal somewhat with Alien just peeking over the parapet. It just has everything. It's action, it has a deep storyline, it carries on that feeling from the original film, gives it a bit of a spin, introduces the life cycle of the alien a bit more. We had a lot cut out of Alien that was not put to film. We see that in the director's cut. Definitely watch the director's cut of most of these films, to be fair. But Aliens is a fantastic film. James Cameron is quite a director. Say what you want about him, but this film was amazing. It was a bad idea to use the stand as a prop for my Blu-rays here because I'm wobbling the camera everywhere. Excuse me. So Aliens for me is slot number 2. So the first one and the second one, slot 1s and 2. Now the third position is kind of more tricky, I think. And I'm regretting now saying I was going to rank these, to be honest. But I think for me, it's going to have to be Alien 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3 with the ranking. And it's going to have to be the cut not approved for release. So the assembly cut of Alien 3. Is that cheating? I don't care. Alien 3 has been slated over the years. It was a bit of a production nightmare. I think the original script was written by Josh Whedon. He kind of disowned the film a little bit. I think he wrote a draft of it, but it was never used, and he ended up writing Resurrection. I'm not sure whether his final script was used for that as well. I think Josh Whedon did write Alien Resurrection, but I think he was called in to write or redraft for this, and there was arguments there as well. But anyway, again, we're going back to one Alien. We're going back to the roots of the franchise, one location, but on a prison planet, and everyone's dead again. Ripley's back on her own, and there's something about this film. Again, its tone that David Fincher set, and I've just noticed actually this is how much David Fincher obviously has separated himself from this film. That my copies of Alien Aliens basically feature Ridley Scott's name on the cover, and this one just says Alien 3. But yeah, David Fincher, it was his first feature film after doing a lot of music videos, etc. And he came across lots of problems with Fox, and I think the theatrical version is still pretty good, but I think that the changes that they made to release it, because they were very stuck on a release date, kind of ruined the film. And the assembly cut that was put together years later, which I believe has never been authorized by David Fincher or anything, but I think is an achievement in what it does, and it does improve the film massively, in my opinion. It's but I think it's a unique film, and I won't say too much about it because if you've never watched it, I don't want to big it up too much in case you think it's shit, basically. But I think it's good, and I think weirdly that might take position 3. Controversial, I don't know. So we're now in 1, 2, 3 position. Now, this is where it starts to get tricky. So I have what would be the 4 remaining films. Romulus being the most recent, from last year. Was it from last year? Time dilates terribly recently. I'm pretty sure it was it released in 2024 actually, I think it might have been 2024. Time is terrible. So let's get this one out of the way actually. Alien Resurrection. So Alien Resurrection was kind of launched on the back of the success of Alien 3, but in video release and successful video games. And Alien 4, let's say, which is Alien Resurrection, kind of had a bit of a tough time, again with the critics and the review, as I don't think it's a proper Aliens film. It is an Alien film. It features the Xenomorph and Weyland-Yutani, and it's set a couple of hundred years into the future. Ripley's back, which is a questionable thing anyway, considering how she disappeared from the franchise, let's say. But I enjoy this film. I do enjoy this film for what it is. If you take it far too seriously, then you don't. I saw a meme years ago saying that, Alien was the horror. Alien 2 is the action film. Alien 2, Aliens. Alien 3 is the drama kind of thriller. And Alien 4, which is Alien Resurrection, is almost the comic relief of the collection. And I can get where they're coming from with that. There's a little bit more, it's a little bit more punny, it's a little bit more obvious kind of humour in there with the characters and how they play. But I think the concept of it's reasonably good. Its execution is reasonably good. And it's one of them films that you can get through it and think, you know what, that was a good film. As one of my friends would say, a good popcorn film. And I'll come back to that where I'm going to put that, because I'm not too sure where I'm going to put that. I think it will rely on where I put these other ones. So we have Prometheus. Now, Prometheus was, for me, was a big thing when it was going to be released. I was really excited for it. I was pretty pumped. It's the first time Ridley Scott's coming back to the franchise. What's he going to do with it? We're going to see the origins of how the alien got to Acheron. Who is the space jockey? Because the story of the space jockey is different in the Dark Horse comics. Go and have a Google of that. You may be surprised. I came out of the cinema disappointed with this film. I enjoyed its cinematography. I enjoyed the actors. I enjoyed the premise if I didn't know about Alien. And if I hadn't watched the other films, I would have probably loved this film. I didn't really get the whole Black Goo concept. I still don't. Luckily, the wonderful author that is, where's his book now? Alex White. He's written 2 of the novelizations. And Alex, they should I say, sorry, he's not. He's non-binary, so I apologize. They've written a couple of the Alien novels, and they're brilliant. They just capture the whole feeling of it, and I wish they'd write a script for a film, if I'm honest with you. And they take the Black Goo to another level, which kind of made me felt more comfortable with it, even though I kind of still didn't really like the whole engineering thing. I've watched this years later, and it is a good film, and I enjoy it. Do I enjoy it more than Alien Covenant? From a directorial point of view, maybe. From a story point of view, maybe. But I don't think it is as good as Covenant. So, is that going to be 4th place? I'm not too sure. We'll put it in 4th for now, shall we? We'll put it in 4th for now. So, Alien Covenant and Romulus. Now, I'm going to go to Romulus first. I went to see this at the cinema. I was very disappointed with this film in the cinema. I'll say very disappointed. I was very peaks and troughs with this film. I thought that the look, the feel, the aesthetic of the film was spot on. I think that they got the universe right. But I came away thinking I wanted to see more of that universe. I wanted to see more captured. I wanted to see... I wanted to smell and see it more. You've teased me far too much. It's the first time we've really seen a colony, apart from the director's cut of Aliens, kind of working, kind of the politics of the colony, and I was a bit disappointed overall in the story. There was bits of it I really liked. I thought them getting the face sucker off the person was a really clever idea. I liked that. No one had ever done that in a film. The life cycle of the alien was very, very fast though. But they did kind of redeem that in the fact of the cocoon thing, and that's been mentioned, I think, in a book somewhere about how the aliens could cocoon to, if they've not had time to develop too much, they can cocoon to grow, which is kind of cool. And that's been mentioned that it's part of the life cycle anyway, as well as what was shown in the director's cut of Alien, of turning people into eggs, which was weird, and I'm glad they kind of cut that out. That's the only bit of the director's cut I don't like. But it was a good film if they hadn't followed the Alien dynamic kind of story progression that they always do. We've seen it before, and I will spoil it because it goes through of, things go wrong, aliens get released, And for me, it's a mixture of like Alien, Aliens, and Alien Resurrection. And it ends with a weird monster, which is creepy as shit. I will give them that. That basketball player they used for the part. No disrespect to him, but wow, like he made that role like so weird. And I'm glad they kind of did it mostly practical in that sense. But then they kind of evacuated someone back into space again, which is what we've seen in 3 films now. 4 films actually, because it happens in Alien Resurrection technically. So yeah, I really like this film, and also slightly despise it as well because it regurgitated too much. And weirdly enough, though, everyone that reviewed it and the podcasts that I listened to kind of hated the callbacks. Didn't mind the callbacks apart from one. They didn't like when Andy said, "Get away from her, you bitch," which I actually really loved because it was the only one for me that made sense. The little recalls throughout the film, like the computer game saying "game over," and stuff like that, and little, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but the little ones that were through the film, which were callbacks to the other Alien films in the franchise, didn't work for me because it was obviously fan lip service. And weirdly, the most obvious one, which was "Get away from her, you bitch," from Aliens, worked for me because it was set up. Andy had been being called a bitch by one of the other characters. They told him what it meant, that it was derogatory, etc., etc. And then he had the opportunity to use it on the alien because he obviously couldn't use it on humans because there's probably some sort of Asimov protocol there. Yeah, so that's the only one in the film that made sense to me. And a lot of podcasts and stuff really slated it for that. And I was thinking, what? Are you real? So we're going to put this one to one side because I want to see where the others rank first. Because even though I really like how it's filmed, and yeah, there was bits of it that I questioned. I think it was too dumbed down, and it was definitely an introduction movie for a new generation, but it was a little bit dumbed down. And 2, The Force Awakens for me. I hate to say. Covenant. So, Covenant is one of them films that is a direct sequel to Prometheus. And again, really like this film. I think it could have been better, but I kind of got over the bad taste of Prometheus that I had in my mouth and took this for a film on its own. And I watched this again recently, actually, and it's actually a watchable film. It doesn't get in the top. Definitely doesn't get in the top 3 or 4 for me. But it's a good fun film. They're a little bit different, these films. Prometheus and Covenant are a little bit different because they set in the past before the Xenomorph has become the proper Xenomorph. I don't feel as good about them. But they are still good films in their own right. Ridley Scott's still a tremendous director. I feel like you could give him a load of lizards in a cage to direct and he'd be able to get a workable film out of it. That's a weird analogy. Just take a sip of my coffee. Delicious. No Pepsi today, sorry. But yeah, I did like the promotional stuff for this, though. This was the one, I think, where they had this alien face image and it just said "run" at the bottom, which I thought was just so impactful. Whoever was in charge of that whole kind of promotional stuff for the film, the media promotion was spot on with that. So yeah, so Covenant, I think it has to go behind Prometheus at the moment, so right behind that. So I have got a soft spot for Resurrection though, and Romulus is still good. This is quite difficult because it's hard when you rank films because they're good in their own rights. So we're gonna go. What I'm gonna do is Alien 1, Aliens 2, Alien 3, because again there's just something special about that film and I can't put my foot on it. I'm gonna go Covenant number 4. I'm gonna go Alien Resurrection number 5. I'm gonna go Prometheus number 6. Am I really doing this? And Romulus at the bottom? Is that the right order for me? Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Covenant, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, which really doesn't have the word alien in it, and Alien Romulus is at the bottom. You know what? yeah, screw you, Romulus. You could have been so much better, but you chose to play lip service to Disney, even though they own you, and you could have been more. You could have been more. So there you go. There's the 7 Alien films ranked on Alien Day for your listening and viewing pleasure. I hope you like that. I've never done that before. And I probably will press stop on this video and go, that should have been higher or that should have been lower. But I'm going to do a few vlogs on my love for the Alien franchise. Going to go through some of my collection that I have. And yeah, hopefully you'll join me for them. I don't know if they're going to be part of the main podcast or they'll be like bonus episodes maybe, just in a random series. But thank you very much for joining me today on this prattle through the Alien series and a little bit of a ranking of my favourites. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. You can message me through Buzzsprout. If you look in the description, there's a little thing to send me a message. I can now reply to that, which is great. So if you do send me something, I can reply. Feel free to comment and tell me what you liked about this video. Do you agree with my comments about the film? Did I miss something? Have I missed something in watching them? Let me know. Until then, take care of yourselves and remember to keep on prattling.
Thanks for listening to Infinite Prattle with your host Stephen. Follow me on social networks at Infinite Prattle and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much.